What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Cover. We're continuing on with the Korvac Saga, Part 7, issue number 174 from 1978, Marvel Comics, captured by the Collector. Of course, we revealed in the last episode that the Collector was, of course, behind all the disappearing of the Avengers. One by one, the Avengers are poof into thin air, vanishing. And finally, they figured out that the cause of where all this was happening was on this little space station, right? So, of course, you get Thor, Iron Man, Hawkeye, and the Wasp are able to get onto the ship, and they find that the Collector is the one who's behind all the disappearing Avengers. Can anybody tell? Okay, you get a no prize for this. Can anybody tell what's glaringly wrong with something very specific on this cover? I only just noticed it right before I started taping here. Anybody notice it? Look at all the Avengers that are in the little bubbles. Okay, captured in the bubbles. Who does not belong there? Beast. He's nowhere to be found. He's not in this issue. He wasn't captured by the Collector. He's not in this issue. He wasn't in the previous couple issues, right? And in fact, at the end of the Korvac Saga, which I'll get to in a couple days, they give you an update for the next issue saying the return and the whereabouts of the Beast, right? But no, he was not captured by the Collector. So that is a goof by Mr. Perez and Mr. Austin, right? They should not have put him on there because he was not part of this. So yeah. Anyway, big mistake. Somehow that got by the quality control people at Marvel Comics back in the day. All right, so here we've got Bill Mantlo, script, Dave Wenzel, pencils, Pablo Marcus, the inks, Shelley Lieberman, letters, Phil Rachelson, colors, Roger Stern, editor, Jim Shooter, plot, and editor-in-chief, right? So here, like I said, we've got the four infiltrating the lair of the Collector. They finally figure out who it all is. And of course, the Collector, he must have some decorator to fit all this into the space of 3 cubic yards. Thou art discovered, villain, release our fellow Avengers or face the wrath of Thor. And then, of course, Wasp. He doesn't seem scared, and he almost looks as if he's glad to see us. Glad, Wasp? No, I'm delighted you're here. For now, my collection of the mighty Avengers is complete. Right, so here, of course, the 4 remaining Avengers are like, no way, this all ends now. He pulls out, Collector pulls out this thing, what does he call it here? This Vandarian power wand, and he goes to shoot it at Thor. Iron Man jumps in the way, right? Then, of course, Iron Man's down for the count for a little bit, so Hawkeye and Thor and the Wasp are there. So then all of a sudden the Collector conjures up these kind of all electric creations there. So Thor goes after them. He finds out Mjolnir is not doing much of anything, and then he realizes that his hammer is actually stuck in one of the creatures. So he says, by Hela, what sorcery is this? My hammer, I cannot withdraw it from the creature, or at least my grip upon it. And then the Collector says, it has passed into another dimension, Thunder God, where it is held fast by the dimensional interface. Should you succeed in pulling it free, the resultant temporal upheaval would doom billions of innocents inhabiting the far-flung other verse. And Hawkeye says, why, you dirty? He goes, whatever you were about to call him, Hawkeye, it's not strong enough since Iron Man. We're tired of being toyed with, Collector. Free the Avengers now. And then he goes to ram into the Collector, and he's just kind of like a hologram, so he goes and smashes into the wall. He's not giving up, though. Wasp is like, you all right? So of course I'm all right. My armor is built to take on all sorts of stuff. And then, of course, Thor and Hawkeye are like, is he telling the truth? Do we really, not pull this out of here? Do we dare take the chance? Archer, if, by pulling it out of here and killing billions, it's like, so they're like, they're kind of stuck. They can't really do anything. So then the Collector, Iron Man's coming after him. The Collector kind of like tricks him as well. And then the Wasp goes after him. That doesn't work. So here we've got basically everybody's down for the count here, with the exception of Wasp and Hawkeye, the 2 least powerful, right? Wow, free bikes, burgers and candy bars. Love free stuff, right? Don't we love free stuff? Of course we do. Satisfy your meat tooth. Oh yeah, snap into a Slim Jim, right? So of course then so again it's the Wasp and Hawkeye. Wasp is down for the count. And then it's the Archer against the Collector, and he's basically laughing off the archer, saying the least powerful, the woman, no powers. What do you plan on doing here? But of course, Hawkeye unleashes one of his arrows that has whatever the hell that is that does there, a clamp arrow he calls it, and then the Collector unleashes one of his collections. Right, this basically it's like a pterodactyl. How cool are these shirts over there, huh? Man, I wish I had a couple of those. Dig that Thor one, like the Fantastic Four classic shot, Howard the Duck, all great, right? So he does away with the pterodactyl. Okay, and then the chase is on. Stop the presses, get a Clark bar. Also, we're gonna win a trip to Gotham, right? Comics, but hey, let's bring up Gotham. Sure. Okay, so here Hawkeye's showing all his skills and agility, right? So here he's actually thwarting everything that the Collector's trying to do, and the Collector's actually kind of impressed that he's doing so well here. But then, of course, he's like, I'm done messing around with you. I can wield the cosmic power. I have all this stuff. So the walls start to close in on Hawkeye and start to form around him and melt. But he gets off a shot. Before all that happens, he nails the Collector, knocks him out, is able to get out of his predicament, and then he goes and frees all of his Avengers friends, including, I guess, Thor was the last to wake up. He throws cold water on his face, right? So now everyone's there. They have the Collector under their power, and they're asking him for an explanation about why he did what he did. He's got a lot of explaining to do. So he goes and starts talking about how, he's one of the elders, right? And he talks about the dealing with, the elders have had to watch the coming of Thanos, right? And he starts talking about this other enemy, all-powerful enemy. Of course, we know who that is. That is this guy named Michael, who's basically Korvac, right? So here we skip back to Korvac, right? Him and, what is her name again? Karina Walters, who, as we find out, is actually the daughter of the Collector. So she was actually sent down to Earth to infiltrate this guy Michael, otherwise known as Korvac's life, get close to him, have him fall in love with her, and then she would then betray him, okay? Because all the powerful villains or beings in the universe are very well aware of the coming power of Korvac, so they're trying to actually do away with him. Right, so the Collector, in his weird mind, he figures, well, if I can go and collect and capture all the Avengers, they will be safe from whatever happens down there, right? Kind of weird thinking, right? But of course, what happens is Karina falls in love with Michael, and she can't betray him. So what does she do? She actually betrays her father here, and Korvac starts summoning. He gets his power up. He goes and he can find out exactly where the Collector is. And as the Collector is telling all the Avengers about this whole story, he gets incinerated. Right, so a power blast comes from nobody knows where, and the Collector is now reduced to ashes, and all the rest of the Avengers are sitting there like, oh my God, what just happened here? If they did this to him, they could have done this to the rest of us, right? So then we go back to Michael or Korvac. He goes, "You are now an orphan, Karina, my love," and she's just like, she's just absolutely horrified at what just happened. So next, the origin of the enemy and the beginning of the end for the Avengers. Okay, so that's the issue number, or part 7, right? What else we got to show you? Anything else here? No, other than buying some, well, you can get a fruit pie, right? Spider-Man meets the Home Wrecker. Not the Wrecker, the Home Wrecker. And then, here you go, some fishing and tackle stuff. The back, Spalding Street Ball. So again, that's part 7 of the Korvac saga, captured by the Collector. And as we see, the Collector is destroyed in the end. Now, I don't remember, to be honest with you, because I'm not like, I can only remember like a few issues with the Collector, going back to old Avengers, and I believe he was in Hulk, like 190 something like that. I don't remember a hell of a lot, if any, Collector appearances after this. So whether this was the absolute end of the Collector, I don't know. Or maybe because, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, all right. So I won't say anymore. I almost spill the beans on what's happening over the next 2 issues. But anyway, yeah. So cool one. But again, just now the story really is like steamrolling ahead. So yeah. So we've got 2 more issues to go with this, and that'll wrap up this lengthy 10-issue extended saga with Korvac here. We have the demise of the Collector, but still much to be done with our heroes against Korvac. So let us know what you think of this issue if you have read this one previously. If not, I've seen many of you commenting over the last couple days that you're missing some of these in your collection. You're like, oh, I want to go out and read these. I would highly recommend this. Is a pretty good series. I think you can get this in a graphic novel as well, where they bring all the issues together. So it's pretty cool stuff. So what I like about this story is how they weaved it interesting to like introduce little subplots in that maybe don't have a lot to do with the overarching saga, right? But they kind of do. Like, you had this thing with Ultron for a couple of issues, and now the Collector for a couple of issues, and then now we're going to get back to the meat and potatoes of what's happening over the last two, right? The big finale. So there you have it. Captured by the Collector, issue number 174 of the Avengers, the Korvac Saga. Visit us. I was going to say visit us on the web. No, we're not. The Comic Book Geezers doesn't have a website. Sea Tranquility does. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on the notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. Then please do hit the like button. So we'll be coming back with Wild Bill probably over the weekend. The last 2 weekends we really have, both of us have been so busy, we really haven't had time to get together to tape some videos. So you'll get a handful of solo ones from me this week, and then Bill and I will get together over the weekend and we'll pump out a whole bunch of them. So then you'll have like 2 weeks of content with the both of us. So stay tuned for that and all sorts of stuff more. But over the next couple days, like I said, we're going to finish up with the Korvac Saga Wednesday and Friday, and then you may get something else from me over the weekend, but more importantly, I think you'll probably get another video you'll definitely get starting on Monday. You'll get more stuff from Bill and I. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you real soon here on Comic Book Geezers. I am P. Pardo. Take care. Bye-bye.